What's up, Dallas? I'm Reagan Elam, and this is Civics 101. Navigating the complexities of American politics can be overwhelming in today's world of constant breaking news and dramatic headlines. That's why we're thrilled to introduce Civics 101, a monthly column for the Dallas Weekly to simplify the key concepts you need to understand how government works. Today, let's kick it off by talking a bit about the federal government. First, a quick crash course. Our federal government has three distinct branches. There's the legislative branch, which consists of the House and the Senate. These are the lawmakers. Next, we have the judicial branch, which is responsible for interpretation of the law. Here, SCOTUS has the final say as to whether our laws are constitutional. Finally, the executive branch consists of the president, the cabinet, and the federal agencies tasked with enforcing the laws. There's so much more to say about the specific duties of each branch outlined in the Constitution. But for today, we're going to focus on the presidential inauguration and a president's first 100 days. Originally, Inauguration Day fell on March 4th, the day the federal government began operating after George Washington became our first president. But since 1933, inauguration has occurred on January 20th or 21st if the 20th falls on a Sunday, by decree of the 20th Amendment. This change was made to reduce the amount of time between Election Day in November and the inauguration. The responsibility of planning and executing the inaugural ceremonies falls to the 124-year-old Joint Congressional Committee on the Inaugural Ceremonies, better known as the JCCIC. Today, the JCCIC manages the following 8 inaugural events: the procession to the Capitol, the Vice President's swearing-in ceremony, the President's swearing-in ceremony, the inaugural address, the honorary departure, the signing ceremony, the inaugural luncheon, and the pass-in review. All other events, the parade and the balls, are managed by the Presidential Inaugural Committee, PIC, a private committee selected by the president-elect that collects all those million-dollar donations you hear about on the news. But after all the pomp and circumstance of all the inaugural ceremonies come the highly anticipated first 100 days in office. This benchmark was first observed during Franklin D. Roosevelt's first term due to the impact of the New Deal legislation enacted. Roosevelt's Day One pledge on March 4th, 1933 was, "I'm prepared under the constitutional duty to recommend the measures that stricken nation in the midst of a stricken world may require." He then immediately summoned Congress into a 3-month special session, whereupon he enacted 15 major bills to counter the effects of the Great Depression. By the time that session ended on June 12, 1933, the 100th day of his presidency, Congress had passed 77 bills that would kickstart the New Deal and fundamentally change the way Americans viewed their government. On July 25th, Roosevelt reflected on that feat during a radio address, saying, "Looking back, we all wanted the opportunity of a little quiet thought to examine and assimilate in a mental picture the crowding events of the 100 days which had been devoted to starting the new wheels of the New Deal." Since then, the first 100 days of presidency has been viewed as an important benchmark. So what did we get out of this explainer? To recap, we talked about the federal government and its 3-branch structure, who assumes responsibility for the inauguration and the significance of the first 100 days. Join me with Civics 101 again next month, where we will talk a little bit about the difference between federal and state legislatures. I'm your host, Reagan Elam. I'll see you next time.